Nwachukwu.
And I am Chioma Innocent. The clash between Boko Haram and ISWAP claims 200 lives.
Islamic Council in verbal crossfire concerning Christian genocide with PFN.
Protest erupts in Kogi community over bandit attack.
Police arrest suspects in Akwa Ibom state over 3 persons actually caught by the police.
ADC unveils plans to defeat APC in 2027.
Details now. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has declared former Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Timi Silva wanted over an alleged case of conspiracy and dishonest conversation or conversion of $14 million. In a public notice today, the Commission spokesman Dele Oyewale said the funds were provided by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board for Atlantic International Refinery and Petrochemical. Well, as it stands, Sylvia is 61 years old. He's from Browns local government area, Bayelsa State. The notice is pursuant to a November 6, 2025 warrant of the Lagos State High Court. The police is asking anyone with useful information as to his whereabouts that should be contacted at the Commission in its Ibadan, Uyo, Sokoto, Maiduguri, Benin, Makurdi, Kaduna, Ilorin, Enugu, Kano, Lagos, Gombe, Port Harcourt, or Abuja offices.
Meanwhile, many fighters have died in one of the deadliest confrontations between Boko Haram and the Islamic State of West Africa province, ISWAP. In recent years, intelligence officials, militia leaders, and jihadist sources confirmed the figures, today describing the fighting as a brutal struggle for territorial dominance along the fringes of Lake Chad. The deadly confrontation reportedly erupted on Sunday in Dogonchiku, a strategic settlement on the lake's shores. Babakura Kolo, a member of a local anti-jihadist militia working alongside security forces, said ISWAP suffered heavy casualties. A former Boko Haram member who now monitors extremist activity in Borno State corroborated the claim, saying several weapons were seized during the clashes. A Nigerian intelligence officer monitoring activities around the Lake Chad region said the death toll was also significant from their assessment. The renewed infighting reflects a deepening ideological divide between the two factions, which formally split in 2016 and have since engaged in intermittent but deadly battles for control of camps, territory, and supply routes.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs dismissed the allegation of Christian genocide in Nigeria, describing it as false, dangerous, and politically motivated. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja, the NSCIA Secretary General, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, accused the Western media and political figures of trumpeting the allegation of Christian genocide as part of an alleged coordinated campaign to destabilize Nigeria. However, the president of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Bishop Wale Oke, insisted that there is a Christian genocide in Nigeria. He says there is no other name to call it. No Christian group is attacking Muslims. Patience of the church is being stretched. Oke actually disclosed during a visit to the Oli Ibadan of Ibadan, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, at the weekend. The debate comes in the wake of Nigeria's designation as a country of particular concern by the United States President, Mr. Donald Trump. In a series of posts and acts between October 31 and November 1, Trump had condemned continued killings in Nigeria, declaring Nigeria's readiness to send its military to Nigeria if the federal government fails to stop the killings by jihadist groups.
Meanwhile, a protest erupted in the Sanlu community on Sunday following the killing of a popular elderly woman, Mrs. Elizabeth Olorunshola, at Ilafin Sanlu community in Yaba East local government area of Kogi State by bandits. Gunmen suspected to be bandits had killed the elderly woman in a fresh attack on the Ilafin Sanlu community on Saturday night. The armed men abducted Mrs. Olorunshola and another person along the Ilafin Isanu road, according to community sources, who said they killed the woman after realizing she was too weak to continue walking through the forest towards their hideout. Her body was discovered in the bush on Sunday, sparking panic among residents, some of whom are reportedly relocating to safer spaces. The president of Ilafin Development Association, Mr. Idowu Awe, described the incident as sad and disheartening. The chairman of Yaba East Local Government area, Honorable Dr. Joshua Dari Monday, also condemned the attack, describing it as heartbreaking and vowing that the perpetrators would be brought to justice. Similarly, the member representing the Akwa East West Mopamuro Federal Constituency Right, Honorable Luke Abejide, condemned the abduction and killing, assuring that both the kidnappers and their informants will be apprehended and prosecuted.
Terrorists are currently attacking travelers in Iruku Ekiti local government area, Kwara State, as vehicles lined up along the busy Iruku Egbe Road today. The attackers have been actively targeting vehicles and commuters along the route, prompting panic amongst motorists. In a video obtained recently, several vehicles, including long trucks, were seen packed by the roadside as travelers camped for safety. An eyewitness who spoke with correspondents today confirmed that the terrorists remained active in the area, warning travelers to avoid the route until security forces intervene. While the terrorists attacked a commercial bus, left one passenger dead and several others injured along the Ayeri Kaba Road in the Jumu local government area of Kogi State. The incident occurred around 5 p.m. on Sunday when gunmen opened fire on travelers along the busy route. According to eyewitnesses, some vehicles managed to escape the ambush, but several passengers were hit by bullets.
Thousands of residents in Ibadan, Oyo State, are currently protesting over alleged plans by the state government to acquire more lands for Ibadan's circular road corridor. The residents have blocked some major roads in the ancient city. The idea of Ibadan Circular Road was conceived when the current Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja, was the governor of the state. Ladoja marked 150 meters for the construction of the road. However, the current governor, Sheyi Makinde, is reportedly planning to extend the road, and the protesting residents, who are from Ido, Lagelu, Onwara, Akinyele, Oluyele, and Egbeda, want the state government to maintain the 150 meters already marked by the former governor. The group of protesters have blocked access in and out of the Iwo Road area, which is one of the major roads in Ibadan. The blockage of the road has caused serious traffic jam in the area. A group of protesters are also at the entrance of Agodi Government Secretariat. The residents armed themselves with different kinds of placards.
Akwa Ibom State Police Command has arrested 3 suspected armed robbers and recovered dangerous weapons in separate operations across the state. The command's public relations officer, DSP Timfon John, disclosed this in a statement today in Uyo. John noted that the arrests were made last Friday at about 8 p.m. following credible intelligence. According to the statement, 2 of the suspects were apprehended at a native doctor's residence in Ikot Ineme village while receiving treatment for undisclosed ailments. The 3rd suspect was later arrested during the course of the investigation. The suspects were identified as Akan Udo, aged 40, of Ikot Udo village, Namso Monday, 20, Ikot Umo Esen Odoro, Ikot village, and Mbata Udo, 40 years of age, of Ikot Upong of Young village. The statement added that a comprehensive search led to the recovery of 1 locally made pistol, 1 locally made revolver, 16 machetes, 6 mobile phones, 2 generators, 1 battle axe, 1 plier, and other incriminating items.
The African Democratic Congress ADC says it has mapped out a clear strategy to unseat the ruling All Progressives Congress in the 2027 general election. Speaking on Sunday at the unofficial unveiling of the party in Kogi East, the North Central National Vice Chairman of the ADC, Senator Tunde Ogbeha, expressed confidence that the party will win both in Kogi State and across Nigeria. Ogbeha, who was visibly encouraged by the large turnout at the event held in Ayigba, Dekina local government area, said the ADC represent hope for Nigerians weary of hunger, poverty, and insecurity. According to him, Kogi East has the numbers and the people's support to rewrite the story of the state and the nation. He noted that the APC-led administration has failed Nigerians, adding that the ADC is ready to move the country from poverty to prosperity. Ogbeha maintained that the party would not rely on foreign aid to address Nigeria's security challenges. He further urged members to remain loyal and united, stressing that the 2027 election will be between the APC and the people of Nigeria. Senator Ogbeha also emphasized that ADC's strength lies not in wealth but in the people's will, assuring that the party would win even without money.
The Nigeria Police Force has filed multiple criminal charges against the former Senator Elisha Abu, accusing him of raping and sexually assaulting a 13-year-old schoolgirl. The charges were lodged at the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, on October 30. Now, the Inspector General of Police's legal team submitted a 9-count charge against the former Adamawa North lawmaker who was removed from office by the Court of Appeal in October 2023. The charges, according to court documents, border on rape, sexual molestation, kidnapping, and other offences involving a minor. The legal action follows a police investigation into the disturbing claims. Investigators said their findings provided sufficient evidence to test the case in court. The alleged offence is based on the detailed testimony of the victim, a junior secondary school student who narrated what she said happened on Sunday, June 29. According to her account, she was at home in Waringba when her elder sister's friend, identified as Nafisa Chigli, came to persuade her to accompany her to a relative's house. The girl initially declined but later agreed. They reportedly took a ride to a residence in Katampe Extension where they were welcomed by Mr. Abo. The former senator allegedly collected their phones upon their arrival. She alleged that the lawmaker instructed Miss Chigli to give them some privacy before proceeding to molest her. The 18-year-old Miss Chigli was told to wait in the bathroom adjoining Mr. Abo's bedroom. According to the victim, after Miss Chigli left the room, Mr. Abo forcefully undressed her. She said she had been wearing a hijab, a kimono, a two-piece outfit, all of which the senator allegedly removed. The victim in tears recounted that Mr. Abo smothered her trembling, exposed body with unwanted kisses, ignoring her repeated pleas to please stop. She added that the more she cried and resisted, the more aggressive and angry the former lawmaker became. When questioned about whether he had engaged in anal penetration, she denied it, stating he did not enter, as was done to her other private parts.
In a very tragic development, an elderly woman has been confirmed dead after she was struck by a white Pathfinder Jeep, allegedly driven by a reckless drunken driver along Al Maruf Inward Pleasure, Okeodo, Lagos State over the weekend, according to a statement issued by the Director of Public Affairs and Enlightenment Department of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA, Mr. Adebayo Taufik. The vehicle was being driven at a dangerously high speed when the driver, said to be under the influence of alcohol, lost control following a brake failure. The vehicle veered off the road and rammed into the unsuspecting woman who was walking along the roadside. Taufik stated that the impact was catastrophic, resulting in her instantaneous demise. He said that LASMA officials at the scene swiftly intervened and arrested the driver as he attempted to flee. The area was immediately cordoned off to prevent secondary accident and ensure smooth flow of traffic. Taufik added that officers from the Ilekbo Police Division were quickly notified and arrived to provide security reinforcement and take over the investigation. The severely damaged vehicle was subsequently towed away and handed over to the police for further forensic examination. Through a mobile phone recovered from the deceased, Taufik said LASMA officials were able to identify and contact her family members. Reacting to the incident, General Manager of LASMA, Mr. Olaliko Bakareoki, expressed outrage over the continued loss of lives on Lagos roads due to reckless and intoxicated driving. He condemned the act as an egregious display of indiscipline and moral decay, warning that such behavior would no longer be tolerated.
The African Democratic Congress has disclosed it has mapped out a clear strategy to unseat the ruling All Progressives Congress in the 2027 general elections. Speaking on Sunday at the official unveiling of the party in Kogi East, the North Central National Vice Chairman of ADC, Senator Tunde Ogbeha, expressed confidence that the party will win both in Kogi State and across Nigeria. Ogbeha, who was visibly encouraged by the large turnout at the event held in Ayigba, Dekina local government area, said the ADC represents hope for Nigerians weary of hunger, poverty, and insecurity.
At least 15 young girls who were allegedly lured into sex trafficking under the guise of job opportunities have been rescued by the Ondo State Police Command. The command, in a statement issued by its spokesperson Olushola Ayonlade, said 3 suspects linked to the trafficking syndicate had been arrested. According to the statement, the Ondo State Police Command has dismantled a notorious sex trafficking syndicate exploiting young women under the guise of job recruitment and social media content creation. Ayonlade explained that operatives of the command's Special Weapons and Tactics Unit acted on credible intelligence to arrest the suspect. The statement added that preliminary investigations revealed that the syndicate lured victims from different parts of the country with false promises of lucrative employment, including domestic work, ushering services, and overseas placements. According to Ayonlade, the arrangement not only enabled exploitation but also exposed how organized criminal elements prey on the desperation of young young women seeking legitimate opportunities. He noted that additional investigations showed that the victims were manipulated into sending nude photos and videos, which were then sent to clients procuring sexual services.
Governor Umar Bago of Niger State has reportedly ordered the arrest of Malam Idris Usman Makanta, a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress and former governorship aspirant in the state. Makanta, who also served as a coordinator of the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria in Niger, was picked up by the police after he allegedly criticized the Bago administration and introduced an independent agricultural initiative not linked to the government. Family members say the septuagenarian had been held in detention for almost 2 weeks despite being granted bail. They described the charge against him as politically motivated and aimed at silencing voices that questioned the government's activities. Sources close to Makanta said his offense was limited to expressing his views online about the state's handling of agriculture and his decision to pursue an investor-supported private farming project. The government reportedly saw this as a threat to its Niger Foods initiative, which has faced criticism from several quarters. They further explained that Niger Foods did the purchasing, Niger Foods did the distribution, and Niger Foods were solely responsible for supervision, monitoring, and recovery. You're currently listening to the World News right here on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. We'll take a very short break. When we return, obviously, I, Chama Innocent, will be bantering on some of the topical stories that we read out in the World News at 6. To kindly stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. This is still the World News right here in Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Chama Innocent, I think we just read it out, and I think this video, or will I say the report about ISWAP and Boko Haram clashing, is actually quite, I don't know the word to use to surmise
the Christians will say that they are praying and the enemies are killing each other.
God is, because
God is fighting for Nigerians.
It's something that a couple of persons would have called a welcome development. Could this be the Trump threat or the Trump spirit? Which one do you think is actually happening? Let's take a brief listen to, will I say, the clapback. Over 200 persons passed on. So over 200 persons. And where were they? On top of the water?
They were on top of the water.
Did they plan it?
They are fighting for territory. Esther, that's the funny thing.
Which territory?
They're fighting for territory along the Lake Chad Basin. It's like ISWAP is telling Boko Haram, oh, we are the ones who are supposed to be there. Boko Haram are telling ISWAP fighters, no, we are the ones who are supposed to be here. But it's good for Nigerians and good for the Nigerian military. It makes their work easier. And then it's also good for America because now they don't have to, spend all of their money to send their soldiers.
I don't think it has anything to do with America right now.
I'm just very good for Nigerians.
Let the enemies destroy each other. The people who are actually happy about this development will be ordinary Nigerians, especially along that Sahel region, that axis that have been going through the onslaught of these enemies of darkness. Chama Innocent, the situation about designating Nigeria a country of particular concern, I am sure that our listeners have been listening to this platform from last week that it came on, and I'm sure that every conversation we've been having has been one update or the other concerning that stipulation. For example, you know that Peter Hesketh, the Secretary of State to the US, has actually made a statement concerning that. They've also had a couple of other House of Rep members or parliamentarians speaking on it and asking that the federal government of Nigeria should, as quick as possible, do something about it. Now, the supporters of the government have tried to create a sense of diversion by assigning blames to certain persons. Some persons are blaming Reverend Achomo, some persons are blaming Christians, some persons are blaming IPOB. They're saying opposition. Dele Aleke is saying it's the opposition. That the thing is, they have refused to admit publicly that there is a crisis when it comes to insecurity. Choma Innocent, if you realize how bad this thing has become, you don't even want to comprehend the extent this situation has escalated. For the past 15 or 16 years, it got worse in this 10 years, and there is a lack of political will to deal with it. One would have expected the government of the day to ask that, oh, Nigerians, let's collaborate together, let's work together, let's see what we can do about this, let's see how we can ensure that we rally around the president, show him the support that is needed, so long as these individuals were routed out. Chuma, let's just take a very brief listen to this. It's imperative that we hear what a couple of security analysts are saying concerning this, because there are talks of Trump's warplane being sighted on Nigerian space, and I don't know the efficacy of that. I don't think Trump's plane would be sighted on Nigeria's airspace hanging there. If it's a warplane, it would just go to its target, it wouldn't hang there. So could it be that there is a sense of paranoia that has been created after the US gave us a breakdown of how they intend to target the enclaves of these criminals? Let's take a very brief listen to the security analysts reacting to this.
Navy SEALs. Nigeria had people that were trained as rangers. They were ambushed and killed. About 22 of them or so.
Wow.
And when an aircraft was sent to go and evacuate their bodies, that aircraft was also shot down by bandits, and the bandits went straight to the aircraft and killed those who were surviving there.
Right.
And when that happened, the Niger State governor was levied with rage. He came to Abuja to ask for the military support to crush those forces. Thereafter, he went to the villa, and he came out of the villa and granted a press statement in which he was saying that we will not use force, we will negotiate. And 3 days after that, the vice president also came out and said this kind of activities is not going to be done by kinetic, we use non-kinetic means. And by the way, what do you mean by non-kinetic means? Non-kinetic,
After they shamed,
after they killed,
they shamed the entire nation.
the entire nation, they killed your military forces, they desecrated them, and you are talking of
And they
negotiation.
made a show of it.
They made a show of it. So when you are saying to me whether Nigeria should use a force or non-kinetic, non-kinetic actually means agriculture, employment generation. The government provides social services. The government provides infrastructure. The government provides employment. Those are non-kinetic. Non-kinetic does not mean negotiation. And in a situation where you have a country where there are military, you have bandits coming for meetings. And in those meetings, there are soldiers, there are police and all that, and bandits come with very sophisticated military equipment to come and negotiate. It's like rubbing to your face that your country is gone. So the question, the point I want to make is, the president needs the courage. You need to exert that courage, that he is the supreme commander. He's the commander-in-chief of the Nigeria Armed Forces. They are called armed forces not because they are negotiators.
Exactly.
Because if we want negotiators, then let's scrap the army and set up a negotiation
And
team.
we are spending heavily. Over 12% of the current budget is for the security.
The military, Nigerian military, I know, are ready to do their job. But then there's the political component that have all other considerations. Ethnic, politics, and all sorts. They are bringing that on the table. And so the soldiers know what to do, but they are told not move.
So we've had talks about the fact that there's a lot of compromise. There's also a lot of political motivated factors that has supposedly limited Nigerian military from doing what they know how to do. There are talks that the Nigerian military actually knows how to fight in the Sahel. They know the terrain. I mean, there was a time that Russia actually had to invite the Nigerian military to help them fight at some point because they know the Sahel terrain. Even Cameroon at some point had needed the attention of the Nigerian military, the assistance. If you also recall the genocide that transpired in Rwanda, all those areas, the Nigerian military knows that terrain and they know how to fight. But when there is politics involved, when you can hear somebody from higher up tell you that drop, or imagine Bello Turji, who was caught, and somebody from higher up said, allow the guy go. You're seeing governors, you're seeing traditional leaders, you're seeing some politicians sit down and take pictures with terrorists, give them money, and they come back
And they always
again
look so
and
happy to see
decimate.
them.
No,
That's
you know,
the crazy
they
thing.
take pictures together. They are celebrities, and so I don't know if it's because of 2027, but it is important that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu seizes this opportunity, and if he wants, blame it that it's Trump. If those people come and say you're killing our brother, say it's not me, it's Trump. up. We don't want any war in our country, so we need to prove to be strong. I think this is an opportunity for the president to be decisive and precise in handling this matter. Whatever his aides and spokespersons are saying as a camouflage from diverting Nigerians from the truth about what is going on with insecurity, it's their business. A couple of persons have said that the spokespersons of the president will be the downfall of his administration, because all they know how to do is to assign blames, come out and abuse and make derogatory statements. Bayo Nanuga is one of them. Daniel Boiler is one of them. They keep doing that. The only person who tries to remain neutral and professional in how he responds to issues of national interest or represent the issue or information concerning his principle is Mr. Sunday Dare. The rest have always been personal in their conversations, in whatever information they put out there on social media, which is considered to be very divisive at a point in time that the country is in a very critical period where unity and harmonization should be what these spokespersons are meant to be preaching. And it's quite unfortunate that you have used tribalism, you've used political differences to dissociate persons from themselves and polarize the polity, and it has kept Nigeria in this fragile state, heightened suspicion amongst Nigerians, and has kept us in a state of you called panic and pandemonium. Do you know, because of what happened, the Kano protest that took place on Saturday, where certain persons lighted or put a fire on the American flag? That's not the only thing they did. They also burnt Trump's face on a what do you call it, on a stick, something that seems like a caricature. Now, Choma, it tells you that some persons were deliberately misinformed these persons, like they were coming to wipe out the entire Muslim race without properly informing them on what is going on and that it's for their own benefit. And now guess what? Threats are already going on social media. Some persons are saying if you're Igbo and you reside in the north, start packing your things to get out. If you're Yoruba and you reside in the north, start leaving or whatnot. Is this the time for such conversations? Is it a time for the polity to be heated up further? Why can't the spokespersons of the government come out and say, Nigerians, let's be calm? The president has said what he wants to say, right? But that's not enough in terms of being precise, and there's a unifying talk about what is meant to be done concerning this.
I'm going to start from what you said initially about the Nigerian military, their exploit in foreign lands and the political will to wipe out terrorism in Nigeria. It's quite unfortunate that we hear of what the Nigerian army used to be, how the Nigerian army used to help ECOWAS, the United Nations and others. They go into foreign lands, they help to bring peace to certain places. And the Nigerian military seems not to be what it used to be before now. And we can tell that there is a difference in the administrations we had then and the administration that we have now. A lot of people will remind you about how Nigeria's current vice president, they once found so person in his house and he was arrested there. A lot of Nigerians will remind you about people like Sheikh Gumi, who will tell you that these are our brothers. Up till now, he's still saying that. I left a comment.
He's no longer in the country. I think he has traveled to Turkey.
He should come and stay here and be saying it now. Why is he staying outside?
Shama, you people invited him now. Why are you talking like this?
Honestly, I left a comment on Twitter saying the media needs to stop talking to this person, and I felt very guilty, but thankfully I was not the one that produced the show on which he was invited. But the truth is, we need to still hear from these people so that people can know that, the people who are talking about, maybe there's still an argument if there's a Christian genocide or not. The question is, if there is a Christian genocide, is there a genocide?
Choma, there is a genocide.
Are people being massacred for no reason?
Choma, for years, Christians have been massacred.
Guess what? In the same Kano state where they are protesting that, they don't want Trump, the terrorists went there today, between yesterday and today, they kidnapped 5 nursing mothers. 5 nursing mothers. What do you want to use them do inside bush? They kidnapped 5 nursing mothers. The other day, a neurologist. How many brain doctors do we have in this country?
Very few.
That they are kidnapping them. So they went to hospital one time, they packed all the patients. These people are not rational. They're not people you approach with, non-kinetic. They don't understand that. They know they hear English.
Exactly. No, it's not like they don't know what they are doing. There's a deliberate attempt. These persons utilize destabilization of the polity for politics. And certain persons who are in that higher echelon utilize these individuals for their personal gain. So they use them for a roundtable conversation and say, give me this. And if it's the president or anybody in the top echelon of government, they have to do what they want because they know what these individuals can do. They deliberately destabilize your administration, so you kowtow to them. That's why they said leadership in Nigeria it's not a very easy feat to accomplish. It's a heavy burden, it's a heavy responsibility. Any decision that needs to be made from the presidency, there's a lot of conversation around it. Sometimes when the president needs to be decisive, you now need to start having conversations, liaising, seeing how you can have a middle ground. And that is also what stalls the precision of making judgments or making decisions that will be effective and place the people that they govern as a priority. Chairman Silva has been declared wanted, and this obviously we heard is should be in connection with the supposed coup that the presidency has been denying.
This time
And
around, they accuse him of something different.
no, but don't
They
you
say
consider
he
it to
took
be quite
money.
convenient?
It really is quite convenient when you
Because
look at
you
it
went
and
to
say,
his house, you did what you did to his home, you took his brother, you say his name is part of those who are financing or whatever in the coup, the alleged coup, which the presidency has denied over and over and over. By now, they had to come on national television to say that it has just been escalated by the media. And by the way, Chiroma, I am so surprised that we did not hear any talk more about these guys. Do you know what it is for the security of the president, the security that surrounds the president to be compromised? It tells you how deep these persons have penetrated. It tells you how bad insecurity has become. I am so shocked that there is no precise, decisive measure. If you have investigated and persons are culpable for a coup in the military regime, it's complete immediate execution. They don't waste time about it, Choma. They don't waste time about it. It's immediate execution. I don't know what this involves. They said they have been interrogating these guys for more than a month now, and they've been trying to source out information of those who sponsored them, those who tell them what to do. We do hope that they will accelerate the process and tell Nigerians what they have done about these individuals, and not to put it under the carpet because of the regional location of where these persons come from. As for Timmy Silva, like I said, it seems very convenient that all of a sudden the EFCC wants him wanted. Elisha Abo has defected to the ADC, and this case has been on for more than 2 years. I'm surprised that now they have decided to go to court.
I'm just glad that they are talking about it again. Defecting to the ADC or any other party.
When it happened, he was in the APC when it happened. Have you forgotten?
I remember
he was in the APC. A panel was set up. Yes, the sex shop incident. A panel was set up. The president's wife was part of the panel because she was a senator at the time. I remember they had an outburst. They had a clash where he warned her, "Don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me like that. I have not been convicted by any competent court, so don't talk to me like that." So I wondered why it took them so long to bring up this case. So does it go with the saying of what's his name? The former Edo State governor,
Oshomole,
who says that once you're in the APC, some of the issues against you may be dropped. But now that he has decided to defect, as I recall, when the ADC was unveiling their coalition, Elisha Abo said that they will deal with the APC. And he said that the 65% of the president's votes in 2023 came from the north, and that he has refused. I don't know what negotiation they had with the president prior to the election that the president is not living up to. And for them, this is what they precisely planned. So, Choma, I do hope that these are not politically motivated convictions, that this is basically the responsibility of the EFCC as an institution to go against corrupt individuals, and we would not hear this case drag for so long. Justice will be swift, precise, and just.
it would be great if we could see prosecution and conviction where necessary, where allegations have been proved right, regardless of the person's political affiliation or how high up they are the politically elite ladder. It's not until one goes to another party or until they are no longer in power we start acting like we want to go after them. But let's wait to see what will come out of this case. I am glad that this is coming up now. There's been a recent wave of awareness on how we should protect the girl child from harassment. And one crazy thing is always the people closest to you, the people you think can never actually do this. If we can convict a Nigerian senator, sitting or not, of sexual harassment and show the world that we are indeed serious about protecting the girl child and women, it will be a win for Nigeria, to be a win for Nigerian women, to be a win for Nigeria's democracy and the Nigerian political elite as well, because that shows that they have some form of integrity, which they have shown us time and time again that they seem not to have.
All right, I think that's a wrap on the world news at 6. So we'll be coming up at 7 o'clock for the evening rush.
Yes.
To kindly stay with us. My name is Esther Wachuku.
My name is Chioma Innocent. Thank you for listening.